Here we are again, back at Wayne's for another test ride. A little chilly today, but we're still getting it done before winter hits. We're riding another beginner bike, and I've been having to let it warm up for like the last 3 minutes because it's nice and simple. The TW200. Oh, so with the TW200, it's carbureted. Everything's simple about it. No RPM gauge. Doesn't have a fuel light. Just a speedometer that says 55. I don't know if it'll actually do 55. Nice mechanical throttle. Make a little loop here around the parking lot and make sure it's nice and warmed up here. Screaming in first gear. Alright, let's get to talking about this thing. So, I was wondering how I was going to feel with the big wide knobby tires and everything like that on the street, because they are smaller knobbies. Like the knobbies themselves are smaller, so it's not going to ride like the Husky did on the street. But honestly, it doesn't feel too bad. Now, why are we riding this bike? We're riding this bike to see how a little dual sport bike will feel. I guess we're in first. Yep, that was first. How would this thing do if you're just looking for a bike to zip around town and you also like to play in the dirt a little bit? I think it does pretty good, especially for a beginner. And my fiance actually fell in love with this little bike. So while she was looking at starting on a sport bike, because she's never ridden a bike period before, we've been looking at this little guy because she can start it out on the dirt. She falls over on the dirt, she's on dirt. It's a dirt bike. It'll hold up better. If she happens to, you know, just get a little crazy with the clutch or something like that and is in the process of learning. And yes, we're going down the same road that we did. On the Husky. So we can hit some dirt, well, some gravel. Let's talk about why this thing is good for beginners. A, it's a 200. So you get a little crazy with the throttle, you know, when you're learning. It's going to be forgiving. You know, you want to ride on the road, cool. You want to start out in the grass and dirt and everything else, you can also do that with this bike. It's nice and light, super low seat height. It's carbureted, so while you do have the carbureted issues, it's still simpler overall. You know, you don't have to worry about fuel injection or computers, none of that stuff. And it's a single cylinder as well, so even more simple. Great bike that you can learn the ins and outs. Yeah. Ins and outs of motorcycling on, and just not have to worry, really. I mean, sure, you don't have to worry with fuel injection so much anymore, but you know, simplicity is key, and the price on these things are very, very reasonable for a brand new bike, you know. And Yamaha has warranties on everything that they sell, unlike a nice entry-level little dual sport bike. So I mean, you can just come out to gravel roads and dirt trails, everything else, and you don't have to worry. These big fat tires on this thing, these big fat tires are just great. I mean, so much grip over, say, the you know, if you're starting out on, you know, more of a, let's say the WR250R that Yamaha makes, you get out on the, like, logging roads and everything else, and those skinny tires, they do grip, yes, but these nice big fat ones, man, they're just gonna look for any grip possible. And I know I took the Husky down this road and everything, but that had the bigger, blockier knobbies, which are great for like a street kind of thing. But when it comes to grip and everything else off-road, they're not going to be that great. They'll make do. Like, they're fine for things like this. And that bike's not really a off-road kind of bike. It can handle a little bit here and there and look awesome while it's doing it. But this thing is more dirt oriented for sure. I mean, the suspension's just incredibly soft and forgiving. Say you get some whiskey throttle on this little thing, and it's not going to try to jump out from underneath of you at all. Or at least in my opinion, it's not. It might, you know, a brand new rider, sure, it might scare you a little bit, but you don't have to worry as much. And it's just as civil as can be. I mean, it's nice and light, so you can just throw it all around, street, dirt, wherever you want to take it, really, and it'll handle it and love every second of it. All right, we're gonna see if it'll hit 55. She was screaming at that speed. It's not the bike that you want to take on the interstate by any means. But say you live out in the city, or just outside the city, and you want a fun little dual sport bike that you can just take out and about and just rip around on logging roads, everything else, but you don't have a truck to take it anywhere, dude, this thing is perfect for that. And with the low standover height, I mean, I'm fairly short for a guy, and I mean, I can flat foot it. Let's talk about seating position also. I mean, it's obviously like a dual sport kind of bike, so you're sitting upright like a dirt bike, very comfortable. The seat's actually pretty dang comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting it to be kind of hard like a rock, but shoot, it's actually pretty nice. Mirrors, great location. I actually didn't really even adjust them. But I mean, just look at it, like fat little knobbies and everything else. That color is beautiful too. I mean, skid plate, plenty of suspension travel, and this bike has just been around for so long, virtually unchanged. I mean, as you can see, even for just being a little 200, it picks up and goes quite well. When I say quite well, I mean the gears are definitely close. First gear is really, really low geared. And honestly, I'd probably be starting out in second everywhere if this was my bike, unless I was off-road. But I mean, that's what it's more oriented towards as it is. So is this a good beginner bike? Heck yes, especially for somebody that has no motorcycle experience at all. Like, say you've never even ridden a dirt bike. Get this little thing if that's what you want, is to be able to go off-road and be able to ride there, and you never had a motorcycle before. This little thing would be perfect for you. As usual, huge shout out to Wayne Cycle here in Waynesboro, Virginia. Hit them up, waynecycle.com. Go online, look at this bike. If you buy this bike from my channel, let me know. Or if you're going to buy this bike from this channel, let me know. I'll come down here and autograph it for you. Just make sure you ask for Jennifer in there, and make sure you tell them Can't Do Wooly sent you. I can't kickstand. Come down here and meet you. Give you a high five. Maybe even catch a ride with you on it. Peace.